Hey guys, we're back, and it's been about a year since Mothership 2.0 or Mothership 2nd Edition came out, and now we're on to our third expansion to the game. The first being Into the Vortex, then we had Call of the Void, now we have Beyond the Expanse. Beyond the Expanse adds in this new pirate fortress, as well as these trader enclaves that are on here, merchant enclaves. We have the city planets and some other new things added in here, as well as the space whale. So we're going to get right in and take a look at what's in this new expansion. So of course, first thing right on the top here we have is our new expansion rulebook. Pretty small book actually for what all's in here. There you can see our new components: the pirate stronghold, the space whale, the city planets, the merchant enclaves. We got some hit point markers, a bunch of stands, and a bunch of cards, which we'll get to. Again, everything that is in these expansions is modular and optional, so you can add these in. In this case, we have the city planets, which are used in addition to the normal planets. You have the resource planets, there's gas planets, and now we have city planets. City planets generate influence, but they cannot have developments put on them because they are already basically fully developed. If you put a moon on them, then they get a one space added to the planet for the moon. Then you have the pirate stronghold, and there's 6 cards, which we'll get to, which go with those. You're going to randomly draw one, and that's going to be used for the game. And then there's a thing in there on how to use it and destroying it. Then we go on to the bonuses that you get if you control it, which depend on the card that is currently in use. We'll get to those in a minute here. Then we have the space whale. These are very similar in design. The space whale is basically an NPC. It's going to randomly roam around the board, and then they go into asteroid belts and nebulas, and they feed and give bonuses if you're friends with them. There's a thing on how they move. And then on the back here, we have more about how they work. They're eating, attacking them. You can kill them. If you kill them, you get everything on board, but people don't like you attacking sentient things, so there's negatives to that as well, right there. Here's your negatives. And then there's the bonuses for befriending them, which again vary on the cards. And finally, we have our merchant enclaves. They're set up just like the moons were in the version 2.0 of the game. They have these little arms that come off, and tells you how to set them up, what they function as in gameplay, and the bonuses that you get for controlling them, and how to lose them, and some lone enclave rules for if you don't put them orbiting a planet, they can be stationary on their own. So I have not played too much with all of this. There's a couple things I've messed around with, but I just got these recently, so I may mess up some things on here, and I apologize for that, but I was eager to show them off. So we have our bag here. We're going to set that aside, and we have a card tray with the cards on top. Over here we have our pirate station, and the space whale is really kind of hard to get out of there. You kind of just got to flip over the tray there. That's everything that's in the tray. We set them all on the side. We'll go through them a little bit at a time here. So opening up our bag so we can get our stands out. We're going to dump everything out of here all in one big pile and go from there. So the first thing we have here is our stronghold, if our camera will focus. And it is a really cool looking model with a lot of details in there. And I only have a couple minor complaints about some flashing. You can see like there at the tip of this. Nothing huge though. Something you can trim off with a hobby knife. You can see another little piece there. But overall, it's a really cool model. And I like it. I know some of the people out there who paint their stuff will love it and be able to do all kinds of cool stuff with it. Next we have our space whale. He's a cute little guy. Man, I don't know if this will show up on the camera too well. I'm not sure what these are made out of. It feels almost like a rubber or it's a really soft plastic. You can see there it's quite flexible, which is nice because you don't have to worry about these little pieces getting broken off. They're quite flexible. It's going to take some doing to get it to break. The trade-off is, so you can, the camera doesn't pick it up too well, but you can kind of see it there. The plastic itself is supposed to be like a matte color, I guess, mostly. But across the whole front here, it's like super glossy. Like I said, the camera doesn't pick it up very well as it is in person. But it almost looks like it's not dry. Like whatever material they made it out of didn't set correctly. I have a resin 3D printer, and it looks like what happens if you don't rinse the resin completely off, uncured resin. It leaves this shiny, almost wet looking patch on there. So I was kind of disappointed by that, but I mean, it's something that could just be a one-off with mine as well. But overall, I think he's cute, and I love the mechanics for it. Next we have our city planets, and these are pretty cool. I don't even think they need to be painted to be cool. You can definitely tell what they're supposed to be. And this one has something on it. I didn't notice that before. But very cool looking planets. If you do paint them up, you can do some neat things with them. Man, I don't know what that is. It's something in the plastic itself. Then we have our merchant enclaves. And this is what they mean about the standalone one where you can just mount it on a base and stick it out in space somewhere. These are kind of cool. Little space stations. Now you don't get enough bases for everything. I think they give you 4 bases because you have 4 planets. And you're meant to use the little arms here, because these enclaves can go like this, just like the moons did in 2.0. And then they mount on like, oops. They mount on like that, and then a planet mounts on top of them like so. So you can have the station orbiting a planet. And I think they give you enough of the arms to mount all of the enclaves, but you only get enough bases in here to mount the 4 city planets. So you're going to have to use bases from something else if you have existing extras or whatever to mount the rest of the enclaves if you want. But there you go. There's our 4 main planets. Our station and the space whale. And then we have, like I said, I'm pretty sure there's enough arms here for all the enclaves, but I don't think I'm going to actually hook them all on because that's going to take too long. And I'm going to take them all apart again to store them anyway. So we'll see here. Yep, there's just enough arms for all the enclaves. And then you have 2 health trackers, which are going to be used to track the health of the fortress as well as the space whale here. I think I zoomed the camera in a bit too much, but it'll work. And the final thing we have are these cards here, which are a different new size. I think they're slightly larger than the beacon cards, maybe slightly wider. I did notice a small difference in the back of some of them. It's not huge, but they're different kinds, so it's not that big of a deal. And basically you're going to have these separated out into their piles. And then before the game, you're going to use a pirate stronghold. You're going to shuffle these up. You're going to draw one, and that's going to be the pirate stronghold you use for the game. So down here you have the points for capturing it if you control it at the end. You have the ability that you get if you're in control, and then some reminder text about how to gain control of it. You also have your health point tracker down here, in which you're going to put these on here, and this is going to go down as it takes damage and eventually gets destroyed. It has an engine power of 0, which means it can't move. There's different versions. Each one of them has different abilities here that they can do. So you can change things up from game to game. The same goes true for the space whale. You're going to have a bunch of these. You're going to shuffle these up. You're going to draw one. And there you have your little space whale buddy. The points for being friends with him. This is what he does for you if you are friends with him. There's a little reminder text on his movement. And then his health point tracker. Again, you're going to put the cube on here. And it's going to go down. If he dies, you're going to get everything that's in his belly. And if you're friends, you're going to get these little abilities here each turn. And again, those vary depending on what is going on. I believe this one's my personal favorite, the Hazard Muncher. If he's in an asteroid, nebula, or neutron star or black hole, your ships can ignore those hazards. So that's kind of cool. And then finally we have the Merchant Enclaves. And again, these are going to work the same way as the other ones. You're going to shuffle these up. You're going to randomly draw one. And the abilities it's going to offer are listed on here. There's a little more to these, but it's worth reading the book to get all the specifics on them. But again, you can see there's kind of a printing difference on some of these. Those are probably the ones that had the weird backs too. Slightly off on a couple of them. Looks like three of the darker, 3 of the lighter. Not a huge deal on these because they're going to be face down. You're going to shuffle, draw one, and that's what you're going to be using for the game. So, not a huge issue, but something to be noted of. And that is a look at everything that comes in the Beyond the Expanse expansion for Mothership 2.0. And I don't know if I should say 2.0 every time, but there is a difference between the original Mothership and Mothership 2.0. So this will blend equally with either game, so it's no big deal. The city planets are a cool new addition. I like them. They only will work with 2.0 because they use the new influence mechanic that comes in it. So I guess that's worth noting. I guess all of this stuff uses influence. So yeah, pretty much is only worthful in 2.0. So the Stronghold is a new cool objective. It's going to give you something new to fight over. The space whales are kind of neat. I've seen people buy multiples of these. You could order them during the campaign extras, so you could have them wandering around. That's something I might look into, getting a couple extras just to have them roaming, because we usually play with a giant map when we play, and if it's only in one corner, half the people aren't going to be able to take advantage of it. So maybe having a few of them out there will help. The Enclaves are a neat idea. I think my only downside to those is I believe you have to control at least 4 of them in order to start getting the bonuses from them. So you need to dedicate something to controlling those. And then when you get your 3rd one, people are going to start eyeing you. And if you try to go for that 4th one, all they have to do is take one of them back from you, and you're going to be losing the bonuses from them. So they seem kind of rough to use, especially in a higher player count game, but I'm interested to see how they work out. Overall, though, the best part about Mothership is the modular ability to add in what you want to use. So you can use just the whale, you can use just a couple of the planets, you can use just the Stronghold, you can use everything. And that goes true with the stuff that was in the Into the Vortex expansion, as well as the Call of the Void. You can throw a little or a lot, you can mix and match, and it makes every game different and unique, and you can cater it to the players that are there. If you got some new players, take out all the optional rules, play with just the base stuff. If you got some people who've been playing the game for a couple of years now and pretty much know their way around, throw everything in there and just laugh at the randomness of what comes up. It's just a cool aspect, and I love the modular nature of Mothership. I always have. It's what drew me to the game in the first place, and the expansions like this keep continuing to add on to it. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for our look at the Beyond the Expanse expansion for Mothership. Hopefully it helps you decide if it's something you're interested or not. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.